G'day guys. So how to become a firefighter in Queensland in 2023 with Queensland Fire and Emergency Services, or QFES, this year. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of the current steps of the Queensland firefighter recruitment process as they are for 2023. And more importantly, I'll show you what you can do to give yourself the edge and actually pass each stage of the process and then get selected over thousands of other very hopeful applicants. So the first step is the online application. Now QFES or QFES uses an online portal for your personal information and minimum requirements. It does stay open for 2 to 3 weeks. Now, prior to the recruitment opening up, you are able actually to submit your expression of interest as QFES accepts those all year round. So if you haven't already filled in the expression of interest, get onto that as soon as possible. Now, to get through this section of recruitment, you need to have a thorough understanding of the minimum requirements needed and information needed to fill the portal. It is particularly important that you secure a blue card, and this is proof that you can work with children in Queensland. Among the minimum requirements, this is the one that takes a little while to secure, so I will link to a detailed article I wrote on the blue card below. Make sure to read, understand and follow the instructions so you don't get something silly and completely avoidable in the very first stage and knock yourself out of the running before it's even really gotten started. Now, following the online application is the big test. The minimum benchmark score is still 9.6. Candidates aren't required to complete the test. As long as they hit 9.6 already, they're marked as a pass. So joining the big test requires medical clearance prior to the activity. And then there is the online cognitive ability assessments. Now last year, the QFES aptitude test consisted of 3 separate exams held by Pearson VUE. The first paper is mechanical reasoning with around 50 questions in approximately 20 minutes. The second paper is termed Core Abilities 1. It consists of 3 separate ability assessments, abstract, numerical, and verbal in that order. And there are about 25 questions per section in around 20 minutes per section as well. The third paper is called Core Abilities 2, and it consists of reading comprehension questions with around 25 questions in 20 minutes. And each test was approximately a month apart. Now these tests are supervised online, meaning that you will book a test time and log into their web portal. Someone is going to watch you through your camera and microphone to make sure it is actually you sitting the exam. Yep, you got Big Brother watching you. Now you're not allowed to use pens and paper or any calculators. So make sure you have your computer software requirements checked and running well prior to the assessment. There was a fair bit of trouble for some applicants that did not check their computers last year, so don't be one of those people. Myself and my aptitude testing gang have designed a platform called eLearning to help with your aptitude test preparation. The platform is kept up to date with the current test questions for QFES every intake, and the test provider is Pearson VUE. So on the platform, you can orient yourself with relevant practice questions and exam format to help you find your way around the online test and save time in improving your score and improving your performance on actual test day. Fairly obvious, but remember to take the test in a clean and quiet environment. The supervisor is going to ask you to remove any distractions or anything in front of, beside, or at the back of you prior to starting the exam. If you're not a member, I do have a free sample test that you can use as well. It's a mini course available in our Facebook group, so make sure you use these resources. Very valuable for you. If you're not in my Facebook group yet, I'll put a link to join in the description below this video, and I do strongly suggest that you get in that group. All right, next is the Operational Focused Abilities Test, or OFAT, OFAT. It's a sequence of tasks that simulate the physical demand requirements of a firefighter during emergency response. So candidates must exhibit the levels of aerobic fitness, physical strength, and endurance necessary to carry out the tasks of a firefighter in order to pass the OFAT. Every task is graded on a pass or fail basis. The tip here is to obviously familiarize yourself with the tasks, ensure you can complete them as far in advance of the actual test as possible, so you've got time to fix any deficiencies before the day. And an even bigger thing to make sure you do is really listen to the instructions you're given and follow them. I know it sounds very, very simple, but it's super important. If you miss something, it reflects on you as a potential candidate that just can't follow instructions properly. So don't be one of those people. Then we have the state panel interview. This is an absolutely critical, important stage of the application process. The interview panel will be made up of both operational and non-operational members of QFES. Now, as a starting point, make sure you have an exceptional understanding of the role of a QFES fighter. Think about, what qualities, attributes and skills that you can bring to QFES and the position of a firefighter. You need to have a really good idea of why you want to be a firefighter to begin with, and then be able to communicate this really well. Make sure you're great at answering behavioral-based questions and get some feedback too. So when I'm working with candidates on the interview, we use a combination approach coupled with coaching and feedback from industry experts, as well as actual firefighters, to ensure that you are interviewing in the top few % of applicants. I do have an interview decoder tool to help you with this on the free training page as well, so get your hands on that. Now, if you are recommended to progress by the interview panel, then you move on to finish all of the psychological tests. Now, this stage of the process involves several examinations, including online tests, a group test scenario, and one-on-one interviews. So these tests are made to determine if you actually possess the qualities required to carry out the mental and emotional responsibilities of being a firefighter, as well as to give the recruitment team a more complete picture of who you are as a candidate. The tests are also going to allow them to expose any undesirable traits or red flags, if they exist. Not saying they do, but that's their job. Now, what makes Queensland unique at this stage is the in-person assessment that they do conduct. They're going to ask what's potentially might seem like random questions and try to rattle your cage, to be fair, to see if they can expose things that may have presented during the psych testing. But this is a really good opportunity to show that you are the right person for the job and show the qualities that they're really looking for. Now, due to psychological assessment results being valid for 12 months, candidates who take the tests but are found not suitable will not be given consideration in recruitment campaigns for the next 12 months. So stakes are kind of high. If you do find yourself in this position, I fully understand it can be very frustrating. You probably won't understand where you went wrong. Once again, I'm going to link to a video to explain this further to you, so check it out and get some clarity there. Now, the next stage after passing the psychological tests is the complete referee reports. QFES, they are going to reach out to your character references and will check your criminal record history as well. Past offences will be taken into account on a case-by-case basis and may or may not have an impact on how your application is processed, but see My Queensland blog for more information on this. And now we move to state selection. Now, throughout a recruitment drive for firefighters, there is a state selection procedure. So you are evaluated on your application merits in comparison to the pool of other candidates available at the time of selection. And this is really where all the hard work actually pays off. And then finally, there's the medical assessment. So if you progress to this stage, you will be required to take a detailed, standardized pre-employment health assessment with a QFES medical advisor. You're then going to need to meet some pre-recruit course requirements. And once all the requirements are met, you'll be invited to a 16-week-long firefighter recruit training course. And this course commences anytime within 6 months after your offer of employment. If you are planning on becoming a firefighter in QFES in 2023 and do have questions, you need help, or want to use my free practice tests and tools, you will find all the information you need below the video. And that wraps up this one, how to become a firefighter in Queensland in 2023. I do wish you guys all the very best of luck. I'll speak soon.